Welcome back to the Wormhole Extremists. My name is David. I'm with Nicole
Hello, hello.
and Evie,
Hello.
and we're watching Entity.
And Daniel's back.
He is back.
Yay, Daniel.
Now, you may or may not notice a few things about this episode. I'm going to point this out just at the get-go so you can kind of be aware as we go forward. This is the first Stargate SG1 episode that was shot with digital cameras in HD.
Yes.
So they have been shooting on film at this whole point. This is an episode that is self-contained to the base, so it wasn't going to be really anything outrageous. You may not notice a difference in the photography at all, but this show was shot digitally.
Yeah.
720, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong at that. I'd love to talk with the DP for this episode to see how this was achieved.
Yeah, that's actually a very interesting fact.
So,
I didn't even know.
Yeah, my understanding is they don't shoot another episode entirely in HD until the season 8 premiere, New Order Part 1.
That's correct. Yeah, they were experimenting.
Yeah, and I think I've got here as well that from Nemesis onwards, all episodes were filmed in 35mm, while earlier episodes were shot in 16mm, aside from the special effects.
Interesting. I love this planet. We only get glimpses of it through the map. Lockwatcher says same camera type that they used for Star Wars. Let me see here. So that was episode 2.
So this is the only episode directed by Alan Lee. So he's actually sort of still been in the background as an editor and a second unit director since season 1. And I found this to be a fun fact. So his father was the renowned composer David Lee, who snagged an Oscar and a BAFTA for Best Sound in the 2003 movie Chicago.
Oh, wow.
Well, there you go. So
their banter's already back. So cute.
Attack of the Clones was shot on a Sony Cine Alta HGW F900, which had been introduced in the year 2000. So, and that was when this...
that's when this came out.
Yeah.
So apparently this episode was initially given the working title Child's Play, which was listed on the official MGM website and some TV listings.
Yep.
What a odd name.
I know. I didn't quite get the reference either, so I'm glad they changed it.
Yeah. I love when they get all panicky and they start having to pull those levers. I don't know why it excites me.
You love a good lever pull.
I love a good lever pull.
Jeez. Film stars never die in lever pull.
So Deborah Kraft from Gateworld noted that season 4 has been adventurous with its portrayal of atypical life forms. So Entity sort of fits right into this pattern. So the season has included confrontations with the replicators and small victories, encounters with beings similar to sentient water, like in Watergate.
The Gadmir.
Negotiations over planet rights with life forms existing solely as DNA in scorched earth, and altercations with those, fireflies in the last episode, Prodigy.
Yeah, the alien races were definitely out there.
Yeah. And this episode is written by Peter DeLuise.
Definitely
that's why it's a good
has
episode. That's why I enjoy it.
Yes, it does have his humor.
Peter DeLuise
I cannot
is going
wait
to be
for this
on the
intro to
20th
go.
on Dial the Gate.
Yes, he is.
Yeah. Poor Gary.
Yeah, yes. I was going to say, you've
He
got
gets to
some
lie down
stellar
there.
interviews. He does get to lie down. You got some stellar interviews for the next season of Dial the Gate.
I'm
so
really
far.
excited. Yeah, complete list at dialthegate.com.
Oh, Sam's hand looks so painful. So, okay, so my next comment is going to be a little bit controversial, I guess. So I was going to say, before I make this comment, I want to preface it by saying that I'm not disparaging different viewpoints. They're obviously what make the fandom such a rich tapestry. Having said that, and that's a Curb Your Enthusiasm reference for David. In his article for The Companion, David McKee, who I'm going to be referencing a few times throughout this episode, described this exchange between Janet and Sam as bickering between an old married couple, and he went on to call Peter DeLuise a Sam Janet shipper, and commented that Tapping and Rothery have better chemistry than Tapping and Anderson, who play love scenes as though held at gunpoint.
Interesting.
Lord.
I know.
That's interesting.
He said that for The Companion.
Yes, he did say that for The Companion.
I'm not passing any judgment on that. It's just a very interesting perspective.
Yeah.
The thing is, these two have an easy chemistry, so...
Yeah. In the same article, he also highlighted the humor and writing in Terrell's skillful acting. So he actually pointed out that particular moment that we just watched, that he felt perfectly captured Janet's character. So where she kind of emphasizes ASAP with that sharp snap of her glove, and then that smooth exit from the frame, which kind of like neatly punctuates
the men in a panic.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love the way she can get them all panicky, just being like, hey guys, like, you're next. And they're just like, oh God. Yeah, what you said about from that quote, yeah. So I think also with Janet and Sam, because they're not having to hide a romantic connection on screen necessarily, because they're being painted as like as a friendship. Their chemistry is just so
it's a bit more obvious. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think there's a comfortability between the two of them.
Also being the women of the show as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So coming up, we see the kind of the entity's point of view. So McKee in his article implied that Lee's decision, the director, to use black and white video footage for the entity's perspective might be a nod to HAL 9000 in 2001: A Space Odyssey. So in the film, HAL is a sentient artificial general intelligence computer who was shown as a camera lens with a red and yellow dot.
Yeah.
I love the way the camera like has such character.
It does have character.
It's
yeah.
spunky.
Yeah.
It is spunky. Also, keep an eye out for the earth patch on Daniel's left sleeve. It switches from being crooked and partially detached to straight and properly in place between shots. By my count, it changes 4 times.
Yeah, that's them just screwing around.
I was going to say, yeah, wasn't it just them screwing around? I love how seriously they take their job sometimes. they're so good at performing that I guess they have to do something just to mess around. But like, it's amazing how they can do jobs so well, and then we'll do things like that.
I've mentioned this before. Darren and I were on set. I can't remember the name of the episode, but Shepard and McKay had switched
they changed them.
Country. Badges.
Funny.
And Darren and I were sitting there thinking, okay, so are they in each other's bodies for this episode? Is that why? And it was just the actors screwing around, trying to
mean.
Yeah, see if the people who are responsible with catching would catch it, and they switched it back before they started filming. So
brilliant.
I think I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but like I'm a massive fan of the TV show Monk, and there was an episode.
You mentioned it last episode, yeah.
I probably did. They had him on set for like a production, like a movie, I think it was, and he literally just tore it apart with like all of the things that he noticed that were wrong.
Brilliant. I respect that.
Also, that humming of the electricity, it kind of makes me super anxious. As at the moment, Adam and I are rewatching Better Call Saul.
Oh.
Dear.
Yeah, there's a character who has he's mentally ill.
He's like allergic to electricity.
Electrical fields, yeah.
Yeah. He's
Good
sensitive
show.
to them.
You're rewatching it or you're seeing it the first time?
So I've seen the first 3 seasons, but I haven't seen beyond that.
Keep
I don't know how it ends.
Yeah.
But I really enjoy it. So I actually found it really endearing just a second ago how Jack's face just beamed with glee when Daniel humors him by agreeing to call the entity a probe. Because Jack's not really scientific at all, so he just looked thrilled.
Uh-oh.
That's what I do. That's like, well, whenever something goes wrong, I go, hello, yeah. Almost like there's a ghost, but I know there's not. It's just
Yeah.
to do it. This is so fun.
It is fun. He's like, do I look fat?
Approaching this scene, approaching the moment where there's the only reference to Jack being actually named John.
John, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
isn't it Jonathan Jack O'Neill?
No, it just says John. It just says John O'Neill.
In the
Jack
film's
is often
end
a
credits,
nickname
it
for
is
John.
Jonathan, quote, Jack, end quote, O'Neill.
Right.
But that's all.
Okay. So also the computer display cycles through some familiar names, including Kent Matheson, SG1's map painter, who you are going to interview on Double Date.
Have him on. That's right.
And
Evie
Marino
is so
Boyle,
ready with the notes.
and Marino Boyle, who apparently is a host of The Current Affair, or was a host of The Current Affair.
Did I just see Peter Dinklage on the screen?
Quite possibly.
Maybe. And it also it also has a file named Lee Van Cleef. So Lee Van Cleef was actually an iconic American actor famous for the 1966 spaghetti western The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. I looked into him, and before acting, he actually served in World War II as a sonar technician on a submarine, and he handled like underwater surveillance.
Wow.
So I don't know if this is like significant in any way, like why they used his name, but I thought it was kind of a neat detail.
They've got the fluffy Daniel hair.
Yep.
I love
it's
it.
the picture from the opening credits.
It's also it reminds me of the report moment when he was looking in There But for the Grace of God.
Yep.
When he was
That's
like,
from
dead.
that shot. That's from that shot. And the shots for Jack and Sam were from Secrets.
Oh, okay.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
And it also revealed some birthdays. I think Jack's born on the 20th of October 51, Sam on the 17th of October 65, and Daniel on the 4th of January 65.
But it's actually
interestingly, DJ Daniel once stated his birthday was July 8th in Forever and a Day.
I remember that. I was going to say
but I couldn't remember if when he said that it was part of that dream sequence. So maybe he like misremembered his own birthday.
Isn't RDA's birthday January?
January.
It is January, yeah.
Yep.
Is he a Capricorn or is he the next one over?
It's end of January, I think. I can't remember.
I would love to have him be a fellow Capricorn. It means a lot to me, even though I don't really believe in that stuff.
It would mean a lot to you, but you don't believe in it.
No, I watched her behind the scenes.
Look at that.
He's so
I know.
Dude, stuff like this is what made me love Stargate.
It likes me. McKee in his article commented that RDA's performance. He commented on RDA's performance. He said that he liked how he transitioned from treating the entity like a pet dog with lines like "I think it likes me" to then displaying noticeably more like serious demeanor as the episode unfolds, and he called it a beautifully measured crescendo of emotion.
Yeah. Well, once he gets inside of his teammates' minds, it's not funny anymore.
Yeah.
Ted, GLaDOS, is that you? Wonderful reference.
Great reference. I was actually about to point that out. I was going to say, with the Capricorn thing, Atlantis behind the scenes, Rachel says that she and Joe Flanagan are Capricorns and that it wouldn't work out for them two as a couple in the show because like they're Capricorns. And then I went, wait, I'm a Capricorn. And then that's how I actually discovered the whole Capricorn thing. I didn't actually realize what that stuff was.
So just audio bobbing up and down in front of the camera is funny.
And then it stopped and he's like sad.
So Hammond just mentioned a second ago about recalling the off-world teams. So how could Hammond have notified all off-world teams to stay put when Carter's advice about purging the computers would render them and consequently the Stargate inoperative?
Manual dial, maybe?
Yeah, I don't know.
It doesn't work.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they have some like distance communication thing via somebody. Maybe someone's like floating around nearby they can send a message to via something futuristic.
Yeah.
Just lying to myself.
This is the problem when your malps are networked. They become the fingers of alien entities trying to
yes, they do.
And this is why Admiral Adama refuses to have a network on the Battlestar Galactica.
You would have to assume that Cheyenne Mountain and NORAD and SGC would be networked with the Pentagon, but I guess not.
Yes.
for situations
well,
like
they
this.
said that their archives are stored at the Pentagon.
Okay. They did.
Also, yeah, Sam says it at some point. Also, you'll notice that Siler's name tag refers to him as Dan Siler.
Yes.
So I think his character's name is actually Sylvester. So
Yes. Well, it's Sly. Yeah, Sly Siler. Yeah.
yeah.
This is one of the few Siler heavy stories.
Yeah.
I love the way that he even double checked his card to make sure it was the right way around to try and see if it worked. Like, that's something that we would all do. It's like plugging in the USB, but you can't get it in the first time, so you got to do it 3 times.
Switch it around. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It's always the third time. Anytime I get it the second or the first, I'm shook.
Uh...
RDA is so important for this.
Sorry.
I'll let Evie go first because Evie's got a whole spiel.
Oh no, I was just going to say there is a goof coming up, but you have to be an eagle eye and you have to really look hard. You got to keep an eye on the shadow by the makeshift door that they've just made there on the right, because there's actually a stagehand that's, I think, working a remote control.
Brilliant. I'm really looking.
Yeah. Intermittent blasts of light.
Shadow on the right, you say?
Shadow on the right. It doesn't look like anything, but then you see it actually move.
Really trying.
Yeah, you'll see it in a sec.
See,
there's something there. Robot. There's something there on the right. You'll see it move in a second.
Behind Jack? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that is
in the background. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
The corridor scene outside of this lab was the first scene that they shot in the episode. It had to be reshot when it was noticed that Amanda was not wearing her bandage, according to Lockwatcher.
Amanda.
Those dang...
So I was going to say about Jack is that I really appreciate the way that RDA his performances always feel really human. Like, he has like silly human reactions to things that are just like feel so effortless. You know, like the way he looks at things, the way that he touches things,
quite a
handles
natural
things.
Performer. Yeah.
Yeah. I really appreciate that. The way he just does things like that. And I'm assuming his comments about having to go to the bathroom every now and again when it comes up is like just him. And I appreciate that because sometimes heroes have to use the loo.
Oh, absolutely.
The lumen glass. Did you guys see the 2 lumen glasses back there?
Yeah.
Always brought into sci-fi shows, hoping that no one will notice. Yeah. Borg alcoves.
Claymores. Gene Diana said yes, Nicole. All USBs have 3 sides. They do.
They have 3 sides, yeah. That's cute.
It's really funny how initially everyone was quite wary, and then Jack's like so happy and playful, and then you're right, the whole the turn in his attitude.
Yeah,
bacteria.
Yeah, absolutely.
Uh-oh.
And Teal just not saying anything, but I'm sure he sides with
so do
Jack.
Wait, that doesn't work.
I communicate.
Sam raises a very good point.
Mm-hmm.
It's a nest.
Yeah. But what are its intentions? Does it just want to go home, or is it going to want to cause trouble?
Yeah, exactly.
I like the layers, of this
I was just
cube.
admiring that.
It's like a cube.
Yeah, it is a cube.
And it's really cool.
I would have loved to see that kind of like thing that, what was it, The Matrix did and everything, that a lot of stuff does, where in the 90s, where they decide to show the screen reflecting on your face, even though like the lighting on a computer is never that intense. But they always did that in 90s stuff, because why not? This is another great example of one of those times that Faye said to me, so this show is just them going places or like meeting things, and then everything goes wrong. How do these people still have jobs?
Because it's a television show.
Yeah, but also actually in life,
Drama.
this happens because,
Exactly. Nothing's
like
perfect.
for example, who looked at a sea urchin and went, yeah, that looks delicious. Let's eat that. Someone had to step on
Yeah,
it.
it's so spiky. It must be hiding something delicious in the middle.
Clearly, and it's like you have to go through the bumps and the misunderstandings in order
Yeah.
to find the juicy stuff in the middle.
It's
Yeah,
getting
what is
threatened.
yours? Mm-hmm.
What is your juicy middle stuff?
Ooh.
Bit passive aggressive.
Yeah. I don't love passive aggressive conversation. It makes me bitter.
Yeah. So, Deborah Kraft in her article suggested that choosing Sam as the entity's host was a bit contrived, potentially another attempt to delve into her and Jack's prohibited relationship. And she questioned the entity's awareness of Sam's importance to Jack, wondering what information in Jack's files could have led to the entity having that conclusion. But that said, like, the entity hints at observing something in a little bit. But there wasn't really any obvious romantic tension that I could see between Sam and Jack, like, early in this episode. So
I always thought that the entity picked Sam based on the fact that she was like the smartest one to like figure out how to get rid of it. So she just basically
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah, maybe
took out the smartest
make
person in the facility.
Yeah.
Or wanted to maximize its potential organic brain power.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. Okay, that's an interesting point of view. Yeah, like Nicole would say, choose someone with big brain.
Big brain, yeah.
Yeah.
Dear oh dear.
That's awfully canny
So
of
when I was a
Frasier to
kid-
notice that.
This
Yeah.
blew my mind.
I think it's blowing Jack's mind also.
Lockwatcher just said this seemed like a good place to use Janet's little flashlight. It's in her pocket. Lockwatcher, can you please keep a tally of how many times Janet pulls out the flashlight? Because, like, I'm actually very curious now on the statistics.
Oh, you'd have to start back at season 1.
Long way back.
I'm sure Lockwatcher already knows. Giandiata said, let's not forget that Jack isn't dumb. He just wants people to think he is. Yes, but I feel like his synaptic pathways may not have as many brilliant connections in as Sam's does. I'm not entirely sure.
Most neuroscientists tend to estimate human storage capacity somewhere between 10 and 100 terabytes.
It's nuts.
Damn. Our brains are weird.
They are indeed.
Yeah.
The human neocortex is the most powerful computer known to exist.
God.
How did we do that?
I feel like mine is slightly faulty.
Ditto.
Just needed a fragment.
So
just gone silent.
I 100% agree with this remark, but McKee said that tapping delivers a chilling performance, capturing the alien's consciousness with a hard, fixed stare, a stylized, deadpan expression, and a minimalist gestures.
I love that. That's what you did to the camera before. It's so cute.
He did.
Recognizes him. Doesn't have verbal skills. This is one of the few episodes where we go total scorched earth on a brand new life form.
Yeah.
Doesn't happen often. But it's like, we got to get this thing out of here.
So, Jack and Janet's interactions about Sam were described online as two bereaved people both in love with Carter, and I think that really hit me in the feels.
Yeah, Janet and
Yeah.
Sam are such a beautiful like connection. They're so, they love
Yeah.
each other. That it makes sense that these two would be reacting.
This is why you don't want to get close to people, because you lose them in war.
Yeah, our brains have more terabytes to use.
Yeah. So, Joe Malozzi pointed out that this episode was particularly interesting because it reversed a common narrative trend. So, in many previous stories, Jack's military perspective clashed with Daniel's peaceful civilian approach, with Daniel's views typically being validated in the end. However, in this instance, the outcome favored Jack's stance. He was kind of correct in hindsight. They should have destroyed the entity when they had the opportunity instead of letting Daniel and Sam attempt to communicate with it.
Militant knows militant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is, Jack and Daniel aren't always right. Daniel tends to be right a lot of the time just because I think it plays for a nicer story.
Well, he's more
when
thoughtful.
There's hope and things.
He's more considerate.
Yeah.
And sometimes considerate is not the answer.
No, and I think that's important to also recognize that like not everyone you're going to meet is going to be a good person and is going to be gonna let you go.
For some of them,
Yeah.
you are in their way. And in this case, I think we are partly. I mean, I don't. If I remember the story correctly, I don't think it chose to be transmitted.
No,
I
it
think
got kind of
stuck.
connected with the Malp, and then
Yeah.
it ended up yeeting back
Yeah,
through.
kind of
Yeah.
piggybacked on the Malp, yeah. So, someone on Reddit mentioned that it took them several viewings of the episode to notice that the AI voice that Sam uses is the same one their local light rail network uses to announce train arrivals.
Brilliant.
I just thought that was
Where?
funny. I don't know. They didn't say where they were from.
Interesting.
Actually, think about what we were just saying a second ago. Isn't it that they traveled through the Malp in order to try and get them to stop because the Malp is causing
So
like
the
mass
Malp
amounts
was
of
causing
damage.
them damage. Yeah.
So this one was sent to stop it.
Yeah, I think that's the case.
Maybe.
Okay.
I don't think they really say, but yeah, it was causing excessive damage to their world. So I think maybe it piggybacked on the Malp to save
Potentially
itself.
deliberately.
Yeah. It was trying to preserve its world.
No other place to go.
She does really play this role really well.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what
Well,
you've
that's a
observed.
good point, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just barricading itself.
Yeah.
Oh, Soundtrack's theme incoming.
Oh, it pops up a couple of times. Sorry,
Look what
David.
just said.
I know you can't hear the music.
Sam is now running on Windows XP.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Hope she doesn't get the blue screen of death.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Blue screen of death.
So it's strategic.
Yeah.
Yeah, but as what and where? It's not like they're going to let you go.
Yeah. Don't know what Tilt's hoping to find in a textbook.
He's trying to give himself quick lessons like a window of opportunity.
Yes.
Just learn quick Windows XP.
Yep. They won't kill it if there's a chance that they might get her back.
God, how can Daniel be so calm?
Gotta do something. I mean, this is kind of
Yeah.
like what happened in Message in a Bottle.
Yeah,
Mhm.
true.
Where I just sat in the base, camped out,
Mhm.
took over Jack, communicated.
Yeah,
Sam and Jack held hands. I wept
they
inside.
did.
Mhm.
Yes.
Wild horses.
Yes,
Cute.
wild horses. Oh. So, McKee observed that Don S. Davis had the remarkable ability to make any science fiction scenario seem credible, regardless of how implausible it might initially appear,
Mm.
which I think was a good observation. And he also noted Davis's uncanny ability to speak volumes with just three words. So he just
I
said
think
them
that's
just now.
what I love
So
about this show is that they're able to do that so well.
yeah. So I think it seems reasonable to assume that Hammond is aware of Jack and Sam's personal feelings, but is like
Yes.
professionally turning a blind eye. So
Yep.
he does call Jack by his first name instead of his rank.
Yep.
So he seemed to be kind of speaking to him as a friend rather than a second in command.
Yeah, which is really lovely. It just goes to show how much of a
Yeah,
beautiful relationship they have with Hammond.
they do.
You know, she's using one hand.
Mm.
Yeah, she is.
Is she like lost mobility with the other?
Well,
They
I.
said she was like a stroke victim,
Yeah.
so maybe she
Yeah.
has.
But also, whatever she's using to communicate through this computer is fewer keystrokes.
Yeah, I'm not sure how it works exactly.
I'm sure there's
But
a
isn't
way.
it kind of like a stenographer in court where like they have limited
Maybe.
keys and then it puts
Yeah.
it
This is
and
true
you
too.
mash it and
Yeah.
it goes together. So
Yeah.
And I think my sister works in the field of speech pathology, and I think a lot of her clients do use like talkers, and I don't think it's the full alphabet. I think it's something different.
Yeah.
it's definitely some limited like connections, isn't it? Something
Mm,
very fascinating the way that they're able to create technology to help people with disabilities to still communicate. I think it's so cool the
Absolutely.
way that we've been able to do that.
How do they know the difference?
And clearly, it was not.
Yeah, but it's alien technology. I think it damaged their systems.
Yeah.
yeah, it did.
Yep.
Yeah, the radio energy. Yeah, it was like a virus.
I always find the combined energy life form thing to be very interesting as a species because it's not really the norm that you consider. But we've bumped into them quite a few times now,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And I just think it's just super cool because it's such a different, odd way of life compared to us.
Yeah,
And it's like they always forget when they go places that things are different.
Yeah, it was sent on a mission.
Mm-hmm.
to
Didn't
destroy.
get stuck.
Yeah, see that's what I was
Yeah.
that's what I was saying. Because I remember her getting all threatening and being like, "We're here to mess you up because you messed us up." And then
Yeah,
that's when
an
Jack's
eye
like,
for an
"We're
eye.
gonna send loads
Mhm.
of probes. Suck it," you know.
Yeah,
Mm. I mean, it's preserved now.
yeah.
For the time being.
Yeah,
But I love the threat that's coming.
it's good. Yeah,
Yes,
I
me
mean, it's
too.
horrible, but you know, effective.
Yeah.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, Daniel's like, Jack, chill.
So, in the companion article, McKee reflected on like how intensely Anderson plays O'Neill in the scene. So he's ready to risk it all, even genocide, to save
Yep.
Sam with Hammond's support.
Yeah.
So it is kind of similar to past dilemmas like Hammond considering nukes in Children of the Gods.
Yeah.
So it kind of highlights that those tough spots where they weigh extreme choices to break through a deadlock.
Mm.
Amanda's so good in this.
She really is.
And her nails are beautiful.
I was going to say, she's got a manicure as well.
Yeah, clearly. She knew that was coming and was like, let me get a manicure. The annoying thing is they've told her to do something and then they don't even let her do it because they don't know what she's going to do. But
no,
like,
they don't know the extent of
it's quite frustrating
that
they stopped her.
Yeah.
Because she was fully going to, like, you know, switch.
What's kind of interesting is that the entity manages to transfer Carter's mind into its mainframe, but there's no power source to sustain her because Jack destroyed the power supply.
A hard drive.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
So I remember when I first watched this, I like didn't know the extent of Stargate. I'd only seen a handful of episodes, obviously, so I was like, "Whoa, what is this?" Yeah, she's like right now. She can't use her words. She's trying to tell him, "Oi, bro, I'm trying to help. Shut up, leave me alone." You know, I feel quite bad.
Well, she's looking quite threatening, so maybe she should have done something different with her face. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
that was a two-shotter.
Yeah. They're just both kind of in disbelief.
I do find it really fascinating the way that this is about to get real dark. We value like human life, so we like love people, right? But like when they're in a comatose situation and there's nobody home for confirmed, like it's funny how like there's still some hope when the body is still going.
Yeah,
I find that very interesting because this is like Sam's not even there.
Just shows you how separate the mind is from the body.
It's absolutely wild. And the way they're holding on to this and they're like, you know, it's Sam, but it's not Sam because she's not there.
It seemed to me like he interrupted a process, you know.
Yeah, I agree.
When he shot her. So who knows how much of her returned to the computer, but I mean, it suggests that all
kind
of
it it kind of looked like it was finishing up.
I love that she and Janet had this conversation.
Well, I meant she'd have to, just based like purely on the fact that Janet is her physician.
Yeah.
She's not in there right now.
This is what my dad was like, you only like this episode because it's all romantic and it's all Sam themed. And it's like, hey, if that's what gets me in the door,
so what?
Be grateful. Yeah.
Be grateful?
Yeah, as in like, so my dad wanted me to really get on board with Stargate and like want to watch it. And so like, if this is the episode that triggers me obsessing over the show, then like, yay, be grateful that it finally clicked and that I am now more obsessed than he is. So
yeah. Who cares what gets you into the door as long as you're into the door?
In. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is curious why, you know, it put Sam in the mainframe and not itself. I guess to fulfill the deal.
Yes.
Shimmering Couture said, I love the sounds of Janet's shoes, and then she corrected it to sounds, and then said, I'm walking, it's hard to type. Are you walking somewhere? I love that.
Oh, they're going to blow this thing to Kingdom Come.
Shimmering Couture also said, I love that they have Janet and Teal'c sit by each other. Don't know why, I just do. Well, yeah, I think that Teal'c and Janet's relationship is an underrated part of Stargate, and one of my favorite moments is when they reunite in season 9. Gets me all emotional.
Yes.
Teal'c has a lot of love in his heart. He's just, he just doesn't express it often.
Just
very
quieter.
stoic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
He's there, though. And it looks like he's been sweating.
Chair almost fell over.
I always found that weird. Why is the chair at that angle? It's like diagonal.
I think it got caught on the drawers.
Uh-oh. I am here.
So it's been suggested that Carter's actions, like typing "I am here," echo the alien entity Jerry from Michael Crichton's Sphere. So in Sphere, the entity communicates through computers and at one point displays the message "I am here." So this might be a nod to the episode's title, and it's one of several SG1 episodes with sort of striking similarities to Crichton's work.
I haven't seen
And
Sphere.
this no, nor have I. So this kind of marks the second time that Sam has been taken over by a being that ultimately sacrifices itself to save her.
I was thinking
obviously
that,
the first being Jolinar.
Jolinar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I have read Sphere. I've read half of it, and then I put it down.
Oh, okay.
David quit a book.
Enjoying it?
I quit a
Halfway
book.
through.
Yes,
I guess
did.
we can see where David's limits are halfway.
Yep, absolutely. I didn't get
respect
into
that.
it.
That's a lot of commitment. Halfway through a book and then bailing.
I don't know
Oh.
about halfway. It was a good bit in.
I was giving you a compliment there.
Were you just not in the mood, or you didn't? Were you just not in the mood at the time, or you didn't like where the
didn't
story was
capture me.
headed, or the writing?
I was much younger. If I went back and read it, I probably would enjoy it. So I'm working on Moby Dick.
That
right
makes
now.
sense.
That's hard.
Oh wow,
Oh.
I love one of my favorite books of all time is Frankenstein,
Yeah.
and that is really hard to read as well, just the old English.
Yeah.
So, speaking of Frankenstein, Deborah Kraft likened this climax to a scene straight out of Frankenstein. So when
Very gothic in
Dr.
appearance.
Frasier established a connection between Sam and the nest, Kraft said that she half expected a dramatic exclamation akin to "It's alive!" when
Yeah.
the electrical surges ceased and Sam's body was
It feels very much
reanimated.
like Frankenstein waking up and there's all the like
Yes.
tech around, all the cables
Also,
connecting.
the moment coming up, so RDA's tentative fluttering hand gesture, someone said on IMDb it's a natural movement, were it not for Jack's role as Sam's commander, like he would have held her hand. So it's a subtle performance, but I think it kind of hints to
I've
that
noticed it before. This is
unspoken
what I mean.
connection,
His
creating a
subtle
touching
performances.
moment for those who see it.
And I said Frankenstein waking up. I meant Frankenstein's monster waking up. There's an important distinction there. People get it
Yes,
wrong all the time.
thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. I knew it would irk you. I know you well enough.
So, apparently, in the DVD commentary for this episode, the director Lee suggests that he wasn't invited back due to being underprepared and delivering a final product that didn't meet Brad Wright's expectations.
Oh, he came back on
And
commentary?
apparently, yeah.
Okay.
So he mentioned that directing Amanda Tapping, Tara Rothery, and Donna Davis was a breeze, but working with Michael Shanks and Christopher Judge presented more of a challenge. I was going
Are
to
they
say
naughty?
that a reviewer, I don't know, it was very vague. A reviewer called the science in this episode shaky at best, and they didn't like the Stephen Hawking style voice. It was just a bit too much.
Interesting.
Too much.
And another
This is-
reviewer said that the episode allows viewers to see a more sympathetic side of Jack, a role typically associated with Daniel and Carter. So, and they said that Jack's character is deepened and enriched through this experience.
Yeah. And the Stephen Hawking voice too much. Like they're not choosing that voice. It's like the
Yeah,
best
the
the
female
technology
counterpart
comes up
of
with.
that.
Yeah.
Well,
voice,
maybe now you could choose a different voice. You know,
I'm
like
sure
you
you
could be
can
like
now.
David Hasselhoff or something.
For sure. Jeez. Entity, everyone. Thanks for joining us.
What a way to end it. David Hasselhoff. Oh, that made me
It
so
just
happy.
came to my mind.
It's so good. So good. Oh, brilliant.